everybody. Josh the RV nerd of Bish's RV. Didn't mean to hit the hay that hard. You kind of startled myself. It's like, oh. Anyway, 25 RB Jay Feather behind us. Actually, I think it's been like 2 years since I got some footage on this. They've made some really nice upgrades. First of all, the nose cap. Once you get into a super slide Jay Feather, you start to get that nose cap. It's not an optional thing. It just shows up when you get a super slide. Really sets this thing off and gives it that good kind of classy looking feel. They've homogenized their decors where they took the best parts of like their farmhouse and their vintage decor and came up with, wait for it, vintage farmhouse. It's how they come up with these names. I'll never know. It's just like they must have really put a group of monkeys in a room for a while to come up with that one. But they've done some good things that I think everybody's been asking for, like give this thing a true queen bed. They finally just have a 60 by 80 inch true queen bed on this, but they have made a little bit of a change on their dinette table base as compared to the previous models. It's still not a pedestal post style. They had this like sawhorse scissor leg thing that I was always afraid was going to cut somebody's fingertip off. I don't know if it happened or not, but I noticed they're not using that anymore. They've gone to the more traditional elliptical base, which is pretty time-tested, pretty proven, but it's also free floating. So if you want to use it in front of the sofa like a dined sofa, you want to take it outside, you can do that. These have a great extended weather package, 200 watts of factory solar standard, dual Asdel walls, a plywood roof deck with the heaviest roof load rating of anything else in this class of which I'm aware. Now, with the weights and the size category on this, I think it'll generally qualify as half-ton towable, but I will say, I definitely wouldn't want the cargo capacity any lower. It is fairly minimal. I think if you're not careful, you may be able to actually overload this thing, but giving you the good with the bad in these videos, that's what I want to do, so you know if it's the right one for you or not, and if you like that, hit that subscribe button, like our video, and let's get in there. And it's no accident. Like, people go, why does every manufacturer build this layout? Because it's that popular, that every manufacturer can find enough business to justify having this layout in their lineup. Some manufacturers having multiple versions of it in their lineup in different, members of the family, because it's a really effective couples model. There's not a lot it doesn't do really well. It's got good window coverage, but admittedly, the windows are on what a lot of people would consider the wrong side of the RV. We're currently staring at the poop side of the camper, whereas the TV is over on the camp side of the RV. And it's not that you can't flip the living room, it's that to do it, you need to add like 2 or 3 feet to the RV. And what's really funny, the reason why is the door. Because if you look at this, the entry door overlaps completely with the slide out. So if you wanted to flip-flop this thing and, put the kitchen on the campsite, or the kitchen on the other side of the RV, not the campsite, you'd have to grow the RV significantly to clear the door with the slide out. Because I'm sitting in the slide and I'm staring straight at it. So that's why you continually run into floor plans like this. And a lot of people are going to say, so what? Add a couple feet. Well, you're going to add a chunk of weight. It's going to require extra axles. It's going to require a heavier chassis. It's going to require, basically, every foot you add to this RV is probably going to add $1,200 in just hard material cost. So it ends up being a very expensive venture. That's why we have so few campsite windows in smaller RVs out there in the industry, and that's why I go crazy when I see them, because it's not easy for manufacturers to do it. Anyway, it's easy to clean this thing, though, because it is carpetless and ventless, and I love how their super slide flooring just really almost visually seamlessly lines right up with the main flooring. That is my personal nerd preferred way to do it right there. Up top here, it's really interesting. Each private room in this RV, so bedroom, bathroom, and main living room cabin, they all get a powered vent fan. Our biggest room gets the biggest vent fan. So if you do want to get some fresh airflow going through those windows, you can force the issue right there. The bathroom and bedrooms both by default have the 4-inch, dollar store fans, basically. But they're not hard to upgrade because they've already done the wiring and all that. Now, they don't offer upgrades from the factory. That would be extra money that we could, assist you with here at the stores. But, some people say, well, I just like them bigger from the factory. Okay, I get it. But most manufacturers don't offer that. So, hold on. Let me zero in on this. In my earlier Jay Feather videos this year, you saw that they were using a very different style of floating table leg, and it folded in the middle, scissored like a sawhorse. And I always wondered if it wasn't a bit of a fingertip pitch point, and maybe that's why they swapped away from it, maybe not. I don't know. I have zero information on that. All I know is that that is what they're using at the time of this filming, at the time this video is releasing. So keep in mind, there's always a little bit of a time delay there. Now, all of our air conditioner ducts are vented and louvered, which is fancy talk for the fact that they can turn and close independently. Not every air conditioning system is necessarily capable of doing that. And again, you no longer have decor choices. They have just gone to one decor. Our kitchen is farmhouse. Our entertainment is what they previously called vintage. And you notice that guy right down there? That is another thing that until very recently was just not available on Jay Feathers. The two most common requests that I heard on Jay Feather RVs were give me a fireplace, give me a bigger fridge, well, I guess this would be 3, and give me a true queen bed. Well, they added the fireplace, they upgraded the fridge from 8 to 10 cubic foot, and they upgraded the bed from a camp queen to a true queen. They have done the big 3 things that a lot of people were asking for, and the funny part about this is I'm actually kind of worried for Whitehawk. Whitehawk is cool and snazzy, but those were 3 factors that really helped differentiate Whitehawk from Jay Feather. And now Jay Feather is getting all up in their business. And these are both Jayco brands. They're managed by the same people. Even it's the same division within Jayco even. And I'll be very curious to see how that all plays out, shakes out. Who knows? Maybe they have other plans. I'm not sure. Now, with this being a laminated wall, they couldn't put power outlets down by the countertop over here where I think you'd prefer them. So they brought the countertop outlets to the countertop. Basically, they brought it to you. And it's a small little detail, but I like the fact that this actually includes sink covers. A lot of little campers do not. Now, I think a really cool feature on your Jaycos is they basically have double the warranty of nearly anybody else. I've heard some people still saying, yeah, well, the RV I was looking at has a 3-year warranty. It doesn't. It probably has a 1-year warranty with 3-year structural coverage. Jaycos have double the actual RV warranty and still match the 3-year structural coverage. So I don't know of anyone else that's doing more than they are on that front. Now, this is a big sliding privacy door, but they include just a simple piece of trim right here and a latch. So first of all, you can keep the bedroom door latch shut in case the RV is rocking and someone comes a knocking. The other thing is, they can't peek around the door, which is very handy in case your laundry is being folded quite aggressively in that given moment right there. Moving on from there before HR calls me again. I joke about that all the time. HR leaves me alone. I really like the company that I work for because they understand that RVs are supposed to be just about fun, and that's what we're doing here. TV hookups on the wall up there because this entire thing is a sliding privacy. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, sorry. I just noticed the converter is located up here. And when we close the slide on this one, the bedroom is cut off. Now, if your life depended on it, you could slide over the countertop like Magnum PI sliding across the hood of a Corvette or I don't know, whatever Magnum PI drove. I was young. But red sports car. My point here is if you pop the fuse for your slide out and the slide out is closed, it is going to be not impossible, but not easy to get up to this bedroom. I've never noticed that before. So, hey, hope you appreciate how far out of my way I'll go to spot stuff. Both sides of the bed have household and USB outlets, which is great. Both sides of the bed also have these little headboard pockets back there. You can see how the pillow doesn't fully match up with the, well, hold on. Let me just get this stupid thing out of the way. There you go. You got pockets up there. There used to be power outlets up there. There's not now. Why they did that, I don't know. But that kind of remind me of Istanbul, not Constantinople. Why they changed it, I can't say. I guess people just liked it better that way. I think I absolutely need 37% more musical references to They Might Be Giants in here. At some point I got to work in some Particle Man references. I don't know. Does anyone even have a clue what I'm talking about right now? That was, by the way, there was a musical episode of Tiny Toon Adventures cartoon when I was growing up, and they had those two songs on that, and I will still watch that video to this day. Doesn't matter. I went way off topic. Sorry. Let me get back on track here. This is the standard sofa. It is a jackknife bifold with storage below. It has a simulated theater effect by dropping down a middle armrest. We'll get to see in a second. There is a theater seat option. There is a hide-a-bed option. So I'd be kind of curious. What sofa would you go with? Which one would you go with? Why? You know, I like how they is that called? I suck with HGTV terms. Is that called shiplap? The accented slide wall. I guess that's what I want to say. They put a little bit of an accent on the slide wall. As long as we're talking about the slide walls and we're talking about the sofa and Istanbul, not Constantinople, let's crack things open and go through stuff in a little bit more detail. Again, the benefit of the jackknife sofa is that it actually does have a giant storage trunk down below it. Although, as we go through this, I think you'll see that this RV does have a pretty good amount of storage all the way around. The big bedroom door actually does a nice job of letting everything look and feel nice and big and open, even though you can fully privatize that and even latch it. And it's those little details Jay Feather does, Jayco does a lot. It's just, they are there. If you actually go through them, I feel very commonly like they've got a more thoughtful, functional design than a lot of brands sometimes do. And there's some other very, very, very good builders out there, certainly. But Jayco very consistently tends to crank out stuff with a high level of function. I will say, I would prefer it if that converter box were maybe relocated, maybe into that walk-in closet right by the door, that giant pantry plaza-tainment center, whatever you want to call it. That, I think, would be a better location so that it would always be readily, easily accessible. Now, the TV can pivot around, not much, but it doesn't need to pivot much because normally it's facing straight at the sofa, and then you can make it pivot over toward the dining if you want to. I don't know what else you need to do beyond that. Although, as you're noticing sitting here, if the TV could pivot left a little bit, it would be toilet TV certified, but I think that's why a lot of people keep their phones in their pockets. By the way, this has a tankless on-demand water heater. That's what the controller is right here. Also, that's our 30 amp solar charge controller. It says 200 watts of solar on the roof. This is a PWM controller, by the way. If you don't know what that means, basically that just means it's a battery tender. It's not the more efficient MPPT, but it does at least come with a couple hundred watts of solar just to help, keep your batteries tended up or offset some of the refrigerator draw if you are, boondocking off-grid, whatever you want to call it there. Now, as I'm sure you can estimate, that is fairly fluffy friendly. That is bazooka butt certified right there. Although you can tell that I was a mathlete, not an athlete, by the way that I dropped the butt napkin roller. And I want to give him credit. Jay Feather, thank you for not doing double sinks in the bathroom. So this is my personal preference. So many RV builders, when they have a huge countertop like this, they will put a second sink in there. And it looks neat. I think it's so not functional because, if they had the other sink in here, you'd have to sit on the toilet to use it, and you could do the 3 S's, although I don't think you could do all 3 at the same time. If you notice, I think a couple years ago they had a lot of open-face bathroom storage. I guess a lot of people said they didn't like that, and they have pivoted, and again, they have listened, and that's one of those things again. Like the curved shower track up here on this rectangular shower, it adds a nice chunk of extra elbow room. It's really, really handy. The RV is 6.5 foot tall, though, from floor to ceiling. So someone a little over 6 foot like me, if you stand in the shower, your head is definitely going to be all up in that skylight. And just in case you're curious, I like how windows make the bathrooms look fancy, but you do have a blackout roller shade here, so you don't necessarily have to accidentally traumatize the neighbors hopping out of the shower. And flip it around the other direction, actually climbing in the shower to give you a good look. I like you to see all the storage that is up in there, and I think seeing the counter space straight on really paints a little bit of a better picture here. It looks like there's an extra cabinet below the sink, but it's really just kind of plumbing access. I've also taken the liberty of closing up the slide out to showcase our access and road mode, and by virtue of the fact that you can see the entry door right there and we're standing in the bathroom, I think pretty much solidifies the fact that, yes, you can get over there. This is a rack and pinion slide out that's been retracted, by the way. And one of the things with that is that you really shouldn't be stepping on or sitting in it while it's retracted because the inside edge of it is floating above the floor. It's not actually fully supported. Now, we have bathroom access, as we've established. We have excellent kitchen access because of where they located their drawers and the refrigerator. You're not going to have a problem there. But unless you do a Dukes of Hazzard yee-haw to get yourself over the countertop here up into that new True Queen bedroom, you are going to lose the bedroom in road mode, which sucks, but I like to take the time to close stuff up to show you what it is and what it's not before you spend the monies. And when this video began, I mentioned that I think that this could qualify for what a lot of people refer to as half-ton towable. It may depend a little bit on where you're towing and where you're going, because terrain absolutely factors into that equation. But that's one of those you got to use your dipstick Jimmy things. It's not just hard math that, you know, you can look at it and go, yes, this would work. You know, if you're going to go up and down the Rocky Mountains, you might want a 3/4 ton. You got to really hefty, strong half-ton, you may be okay in that kind of situation. One thing I do want to mention, and again, I hope you appreciate how I give you kind of the good with the bad. I feel it's got a, I wouldn't want the cargo capacity any lower. Like, it's okay, but I wouldn't want any less cargo on it, or capacity. So, you know, especially you got like the big pantry, you got that big front pass-through. Some folks, you know, you boondocker types, they like to put a little bit of water in some tanks. That adds up 8 pounds a gallon at, what is it, 8.12 or something like that, but about 8 pounds a gallon. Buddy, that adds up fast. So be careful and be cognizant of that. Actually, this is something I think every RV owner should do. The day you take your RV home, or before you load a single thing into it, what I would really highly recommend is one of your first trips should be towing the RV to some sort of scales where you can find out what that sucker actually weighs, because otherwise you might actually have more weight behind you than you realize. Now, I zoomed in on that sticker so I wouldn't forget to talk about these. Ride on a little bit different chassis. It's not a traditional Lippert I-beam chassis. It's made by Norco. It's like a huck-bolted style frame. It's a little bit different. It's kind of been my experience that RVs riding on that chassis seem to have pretty good service records, but I've seen a couple that haven't done fantastically. I think it's a factor, not a guarantee. You also do have the quick drop stabilizers, which are basically has an extra strong arm built right into it just to really keep everything cinched down and stable at your site. It takes a lot of the wiggle jiggle out of the RV, you know, camping experience. The speakers might as well be mounted on the roof, because that's about the only way you're going to hear them easily without cranking the volume up to 11, is by sitting on the roof. We have Goodyear Endurance radials down here as well, which is another factory standard thing. You may have noticed also up here the tankless on-demand water heater. So if you want to take some back-to-back hot showers, I was going to say back-to-back-to-back, but I think for the most part it's a couples camper, so factoring in that third shower, I don't know. It seems weird. It seems very weird. I'm just going to move on from that. Now, a lot of builders who make this model do not offer any sort of camp kitchen at all function in the back. And I might even call this just a cooking convenience center. It doesn't have a sink, so maybe it's not a full-on camp kitchen. You've got the hot cold water thing on the left, and there's like a garden hose that attaches to it. But one of the things here is it includes the griddle, it includes the bumper mount bracket and everything, but this is how you stow it going down the road. And I don't think I've ever showcased this before. I've always pulled everything out and set it up so that you could see it, but I've done that a lot. I've never done this, and I think that this is handy because it gives you an idea of where all that crap is supposed to be when you're going down the road. But ladies and gentlemen, since this is all in the back corner, and you have the griddle hookup all the way back here, we have the propanus. That is right. The gas comes out the backside. That is a propanus right there, ladies and gentlemen. Our underbelly, shifting gears, I don't do transitional material, as you can tell. Our underbelly is enclosed. It is forced air heated. I'm going to call this an extended season. To my knowledge, they've never actually cold chambered and proven it at like 0 degrees or anything like that. But, you know, for general camping, basically, if you're going to be camping when the snowflakes aren't flying, when the water's not freezing, you're going to be fine in an RV like this, which I think satisfies what most folks are looking for. The walls here, they actually are what I call dual Asdel. So they're Asdel layering on the outside and the inside. Another really cool thing down here is that you do have a single sewer outlet. So the kitchen and everything drains right back here. And on a floor plan like this, these, rear bath, front bedroom, middle living kind of models, a lot of manufacturers will have a two-headed sewer monster where you got to do the poop scoop boogie with your sewer hose to hook up between the two of them. Now, one other more unique quality of this is that it does actually have plywood roof decking, which is one of the things that gives it a greater load-bearing capacity. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy for the warmth of the sun right now, but I'm staring right into it here. You know what? I think we don't necessarily need the trailer in the background, right? It's killing me. I don't want to go any more blind than I already am with my corrective lenses. Regardless, when you're ready, we're ready. This is a super common, popular floor plan. So I'm going to leave you some links in the video description. Check out a ton of other people that make something like this. And if it's the right one for you, great. Give us a call. If you need to look at something else, watch a couple of those videos and let me know which one you'd go with and why. And short of that, thanks for watching. Once again, appreciate the return members of the RV Nerd Herd. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Oh, much better.